Enga police save accused sorcerer victim. Court says Undialu remains as governor. And police to enforce cybercrime law.
This is National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Friday's news. The Waigani National Court has allowed Koroba Lake Kopiago MP Philip Undialu to remain as Hela governor until the next court hearing. Justice Colin McKyle said the court will not deal with any interim applications for injunction. He made this remark today in court after the Como Magarima MP, Francis Potape, filed an interim injunction challenging Undialu's appointment as Hela governor.
The tussle between the Hela governor's seat continues following the death of late Endisen Agiru. This time it is between the Como Magarima MP Francis Potape and Koroba Lake Kopiago MP Philip Undialu. On July 5, 2016, the Provincial Assembly met and appointed Undialu as the new Hela governor. This did not go down well with Potape. Due to the urgency of the situation, the National Court will not deal with any interim injunction. The court said that whether Undialu was appointed rightly or wrongly in July, he will still maintain the status quo as Hela governor until the matter returns to court on August 24. When it returns, the court will determine Undialu's appointment. Vasenata Yama, National EMTV News.
The new Cybercrime Act will be enforced by the police. NICTA officials clarified this today following the passing of the bill yesterday. It was also clarified today that amendments have been made to the NICTA Act to allow police to enforce laws surrounding the improper use of ICT services.
This amendment follows confusion in the committal courts in recent months on the prosecution of offenders of the NICTA Act Section 266, which relates to the improper use of ICT services. This law did not allow the police to prosecute the offenders.
So now it's all under this cybercrime law. So now the police will have courage of both gathering evidence, preserving evidence, and then prosecuting the cases through the court system.
The enforcement of this law would require the police to have a particular set of skills that the police is not equipped with at the moment.
The training, of course, will it's going to be highly technical. Basically, it will require teaching law enforcement how to collect evidence, how to preserve evidence, how to use, for example, a laptop to be able to trace where somebody is, or using the information on the laptop to write down to the location of the person. So there's going to be a whole range of the aspects of training to how to detect or how to find where perpetrators are. And of course, how to use some of the devices that will form part of their arsenal, if you like, in combating cybercrime.
The training and resources to police this act is expected to come from the International Communications Union. This training is said to be the start of continuous training, as there is the need for a specialist unit in the police force to police ICT in the country. There are plans for awareness of this law throughout the country.
This is a deterrent for abuse, because cyberspace, which is out there, but we've got to protect the space within our sovereign area, that is Papua New Guinea. So that is why this bill is very important. So we need to up the public awareness. As soon as funding becomes available, we will undertake that extensive campaign to tell Papua New Guineans about what it means.
Minister Miring Toro, while thanking the people who worked to put this act together, said he is proud to note that this is a homegrown act, something that came with no cost to the government.
This bill is going to be a main platform for the other bills or other legislation that will come in. once this bill comes into effect. Now we know technology changes. Maybe 5 years time, the technology will change. Now as changes comes along with new technology, of course, new amendments and new ideas that will be put forward to the bill, existing bill that we are putting in now. And we know that those bills that will come in the future will add value and weight to this bill that we have already put forward.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
With the introduction of the Cybercrime Act, NICTA is also encouraging customers to register their SIM cards. Communications Minister Jimmy Miring-Toro said the two mobile companies are aware of the new act and have been working with the department to register all SIM card holders. The registration of SIM cards is an approach NICTA is taking to minimize cybercrimes in Papua New Guinea.
One of the shortcomings of compulsory registration of SIM card is anti-sales, because people are obviously reluctant to go and get themselves registered and get photographed when they want to get new SIMs. So we have allowed for some flexibility for new subscribers, allow the operators that they can do that within a 30-day period from.
Lay police have warned the Chinese operators of a controversial liquor shop located near a suburban residential area to stop selling single bottles of alcoholic beverages. The operators of the shop have been selling single bottles and cans at prices ranging from 3 kina 50 to 9 kina each. Police have also reported an increase in drunkenness and alcohol-related violence since the shop opened.
This is a shop that was in the news recently after a local level government councillor raised concerns over the alleged discrepancies in licensing and its location. Councillor Carol Yawing complained that the location of the shop was too close to a residential area. This afternoon, police acting on another complaint came to the shop and ordered the shop operators to stop selling individual bottles of alcoholic beverages at prices that children can afford. The Chinese operators were selling single bottles and cans for prices ranging between 3 kina and 9 kina.
3 kina, 5 kina, 6 kina, 9 kina.
It's prompted Councillor Carol Yawing to call for the revocation of the liquor license and for the immediate sacking of the chairman of the Morobe Liquor Licensing Board, who signs off on operating licenses.
Me, like him, authorities of the day only appoint him and come up, chairman of the liquor licensing. I want them to sack him because Emi bypassing me. Now Emi no save lo want him something or documents Emi sign him long him. So Emi giving me big problems threat lo what to at the moment along Kasawa Road with law and order law, drunkards and usat only buying drinks lo this la shop at the moment.
Lay Police Commander Anthony Wagambi, who ordered his men to issue the warning, said the rate of other crimes have dipped, but alcohol-related violence in the Kasawari Road area has increased largely due to easy access to alcoholic drinks.
It's making alcohol more accessible to any sort of person. Any Tom and Dick and Harry, they pick up that beer and then they go out and they cause problems in the community. So the community at 7th Street are the ones, they're feeling the brunt of it.
Councillor Yawing has been very vocal about the alcohol abuse in her ward area. She's also called on civil authorities to become more proactive in their enforcement. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lay.
Here with National EMTV News. We'll have for you the day's other stories when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Defence Minister Fabian Pock says his ministry will be looking at ways to improve the recruitment process of military personnel. His comments came after Southfly MP Aide Ganase raised concerns on the criteria of the recruitment process. The question was raised in Parliament during the Questions Without Notice today.
The Southfly MP's reason for raising this question was because the chances of interested people applying to become military personnel are very slim in outer provinces.
Second question.
Mr. Ganesi questioned the minister responsible on how the Defence Force recruitment team plans to improve the recruitment process.
Me like Sawe, one criteria Defense Force use him long recruiting. Me finding more same kind passing. Defense Force use him all major centers long recruiting. There's a line of fair along all royal provinces and districts.
In response, Minister Pok said the force has limited funding and cannot travel to every province to recruit. However, he promised the Southfly MP that appropriate measures will be taken to improve the recruitment process.
Recruitment sa golo popular region lo country because of funding problem. Lo golo ograp lo papanigini. But I'll bring it to the Commander Olain lo team lo lulu lo golo Sambla province. But most of the time in by golo some Western Islands, Eastern Islands, Sandol, no golo Joaka yet. So also goal some so good luck question. We will try and look at ways to improve the recruiting by going into rural areas now. Go all provinces law. So this is something I'll take it on board.
Meanwhile, PNGDF Commander Gilbert Toropo, in a meeting with departmental heads last Friday, said the force needs more soldiers to patrol our international borders. Tekla Gunga, National MTV News.
The uncertainty over the future and ownership of the Panguna mine was raised in Parliament today. Rabaul MP Dr. Alan Marat questioned the government's 53% share and government's plan if Bougainville successfully gains autonomy in the next 3 years. Minister responsible for Bougainville Affairs, Joe Lera, said the government will announce its position in the coming days.
Does the national government intend to retain a majority share in the Panguna mine? Thirdly, how will the national government handle its management of Panguna mine if Bougainville choose to become independent? And finally, what are the national government's plans for handling possible dissent from landowners and other Bougainvilleans? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Issue is sensitive because currently mi plawoko tok lo painim lo solutions mi by larim long Prime Minister lo answerim lo statement by me give him close to next week.
Buka Airport in the autonomous region of Bougainville will undergo a major facelift. Implementing agency, the National Airports Corporation, will ensure the 43 million kina project is successfully delivered to the people of Bougainville. Fabian Hakelitz files this report from Buka.
Another infrastructure development in the autonomous region of Bougainville. This was sealed through the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding by the national and autonomous Bougainville governments. Buka Airport is a priority jointly supported by the government of Papua New Guinea and the Asian Development Bank. The 43 million kina project covers fencing, 10 million kina, and the airport redevelopment, which is 33 million kina.
Scope of work about fencing, now runway extension, now strengthening pavement, now working legally terminal building too. Size of terminal building, but MOU, on an APG, where APG can suppose he can contribute him supply so that make him terminal go big plan.
The signing was witnessed by the National Civil Aviation Minister Stephen Davis, who thanked the Yitu landowners for their support.
This is why I'm showing us in peace and in cooperation, in Kirapim gen Amamas, in Kirapim gen look travel our people, look travel our youths, look travel our every person, our mama. Suppose him like him also is welcome. The only good thing we can make him to swim, appreciate him, Lemi, and no learn him. Or walk, go ahead without disturbance.
The Buka Airport runway extension will be 400 meters. Now 100 meters is from runway 22 all the way to Kukul Beach, and from runway 04 is another 300 meters, which is equivalent to 400 meters. Now this is in addition to the 1600 total length of this runway. The National Airports Corporation is committed to ensure that this project is delivered on time, which is the package for the Buka Airport upgrade and redevelopment. The fencing is expected to be completed by July next year. In Buka, Fabian Hakelitz, National MTV News.
The government's rollout of the free healthcare policy was questioned today in Parliament. Bulolo MP Sam Basil raised a series of questions to the Health Minister to define the administration of the policy and its effectiveness. He said for Morobe, people are still paying fees to access health services.
The primary free healthcare policy is an outcome of the Alatawa Accord orchestrated by the O'Neill Dion-led government. This policy has been administrated in the past 4 years. However, a pressing demand stemming out of the policy is its monitoring in government-run and church health facilities. Today, Bulolo MP Sam Basil questioned why this policy has not been effective, with people still paying fees and the role the health department is playing.
Plagat problem lo fees. All is have a charge him lo Olman Mary where who regulates the fees and how much? Drug procurement. Mipla like look whether you can give him come lo DDA, lo mipla walk him because planning up, drug in or reach him.
For Morobe, the Bulolo MP told Parliament most health facilities are doing the medical procurement, appointment of health boards and even closing down services due to funding.
It's not a free health service lo Morobe province because all get a house he charge him fees. That is why me asking Minister, you should regulate him.
Minister responsible Michael Malabag maintained that the policy is effective and says the department has decentralized services to provinces.
And it is true what Secretary said. A lot of responsibilities are decentralized to the provinces, especially in primary health care. And those responsibilities for hospitals too have now been joined together under the provincial health authorities. So all those responsibilities are laid out with the boards. And the health department is more like a monitoring authority, checking up all those things and the procurement of medicines, few other things associated with it.
Responding to a supplementary question by Golela MP William Samp over non-payment of wages to church-run health facilities, Minister Malabag says the 50 million cutback has been restored.
That the money will be given, and the money will be given directly to our church health services.
Jack Lapave Jr., National MTV News.
Morobe Governor Kelly Naru has called on farmers to exercise caution when conducting business involving exports. The reaction came after farmers were inconvenienced by an alleged dispute between the Morobe Shipping Services and operators of shipping vessel Lady Zemming. 9,000 bags of coffee were left stranded out at sea with no clear explanation given as to why there was a delay.
Coffee and cocoa farmers from Wasu in Tewaisiasi district yesterday raised concerns over the shipment delay of the product still out on sea. Coffee farmer Moloch Terry from Union Coit Cooperative said the farmers were unable to unload the bags of coffee and cocoa on time due to the confusion on the whereabouts of the ship. Morobe Coast Shipping Services raised an invoice to Union Coit Cooperatives and directed the freight payment be made into a separate account of Daniel Properties and not Morobe Coast Shipping. A payment was made today to this account by Union Coit Cooperatives. Morobe Shipping Services manages the vessel, but what has become apparent is the confusion related to where freight money should be paid and who should receive payments. The Provincial Farmer Training Extension Coordinator Carl Aglai clarified the delay to the bags of coffee and cocoa this morning.
So there was a shipment Lady Zemming about. So we've been working with Morobe Coastal Shipping and the Undialu Shipping and Swallow.
Morobe Governor Kelly Naru has meanwhile called on farmers to exercise caution when dealing with exports.
People are too budgeting money long freight subsidy 2 years, but funding come good also now. We play no roll him out.
Several attempts made to contact Daniel Properties were unsuccessful. The coffee bags have been unloaded by PNG ports and the farmers have loaded the bags into containers prepared for milling. Union Coit Cooperative's coffee will be part of the coffee cupping competition this month. This episode has affected the export schedules kept by overseas buyers. Julie Badwi Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
A high number of withdrawals at the National Superannuation Fund have been carried out in almost all provinces in the country. Chief Operating Officer Warwick Vele explained that the downturn in the economy has seen many employers laying off workers. He said employees who are not able to find another job quickly turn to withdraw their savings. He made the remarks following the opening of the new NAS Fund office in Leh today.
Morobe province has about 150,000 NAS Fund members and about 325 employers out of the 540,000 membership across the country. This is the biggest number of members based here in Morobe. However, the withdrawal rate both in Morobe and in the other provinces is still high.
There is a downturn in the economy and people unfortunately laid off from work or find it hard to find a new job. We're the last call of resort that they can come to.
NAS Fund Chief Operating Officer Warwick Vele says they also provide counseling to members who apply for withdrawals. This initiative is to encourage members who are young and fit and still of working age to try and save their money for life after retirement.
We understand the situation that they need the monies, but we do try and encourage them to leave some of the money in there so that when they go back to getting a job, they've got a base to start with that's not zero. But also by leaving it in, it's going to grow through the interest rates that we provide.
Meanwhile, the opening of the new office facility is one of the number of efforts taken by Superfund to address some of the concerns members have been raising. The changes include the increase in the number of staff, delegation of some of the responsibility from the headquarters to the branch manager and the staff here in Leh, as well as providing training to the staff to better serve their members.
We've done a lot of work on our processes in the back office, so we've looked at them and examined them on how we can be a lot more efficient. We're working with our fund administrator at the moment to upgrade the system so that we can provide more modern services. The system we were using was an old system.
Apart from NAS Fund's efforts in addressing concerns raised by its members, the biggest focus now is going into the rural areas to encourage and promote the culture of saving, as well as giving the people an opportunity to save. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina opened unchanged at $0.3155 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3080 $0.3968 Australian dollars, €0.2735 and 31.06 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa and copper closed the day lower. Palm oil, crude oil and copper closed the day higher. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed at 118 points higher, the ASX is trading 41 points higher, and the All Ordinary is trading 41 points lower. Here with National EMTV News, a series of bombings in Thailand and the death toll is climbing. We'll have that story and more after the break. Welcome back to the news. The University of Goroka donated 10 cartons of library books to the Asia Pacific Institute of Applied Social, Economic and Technical Studies. The books will be placed at the school's library for students to access information for study purposes.
The presentation of the library books consolidates ties between the University of Goroka and the private institute. Executive Director of UOG's Institute of Distance and Flexible Learning, Kenchol Rui, said flexible mode is another convenient method of study.
This fast emerging state university based in the islands has got a regional campus here now within the premises of Apisat at Ho'ola, and that people can come in to enroll and have access to the programs University of Goroka is now offering at our regional campus.
Speaking during the presentation, he encouraged students to read a lot of books to empower and enhance their study skills and knowledge. He added that despite the students' unrest which affect the progress of the university academic programs, the university is back to normal.
We were fortunate to involve all relevant stakeholders and successfully reconciled and brought the university back to normal, and now the university is back to normal. And as we are speaking, our students have now gone out for teaching practice.
Since its establishment, UOG has been at the center of educating Papua New Guineans with its courses and programs through the extended mode. However, today the cost of purchasing and printing study materials is very high. This has forced the management to find a convenient way to minimize the cost. Librarian Rafael Tabagor said the university is opting to offer courses electronically to students.
UOG, there is a database that we have, and today the students can sit in any of their labs on campus and have access to full text from 2 pages of PDF file to 3,000 over pages of books, and they call it electronic books.
Apia Set's Executive Director Thomas Piller thanked UOG for their support and pledged to work with them to run their teaching both diploma and postgraduate programs.
If they don't meet the requirements, they must know that this partnership is real and it's here, and this is just as good as going to Goroka, so they can pursue their tertiary education through this program that we have in here.
Eric Kaupman, National EMTV News.
Head of the Police Fraud and Anti-Corruption Directorate, Matthew Damaru, is pleased with the conviction of 3 senior members of the Western Provincial Government. Damaru said investigations into the alleged misappropriation were conducted by fraud officers, and he is happy the courts found the 3 guilty. The 3 convicted are Western Governor Ati Wabiro, Western Provincial Administrator Dr. Modoa Gumoy, and local businessman Norman May.
The 3 convicts were arrested by fraud officers in 2014, and investigators took at least 12 months to collect evidence and present them in court. Following a trial at the National Court in Port Moresby, the 3 were found guilty of conspiracy and misappropriation.
I should say that that was a case that was investigated, and successfully we secured a conviction. We're just waiting for the court to decide on the sentence. At the end of this month, the councils will make submissions on the sentence.
The court found that the 3 conspired and used over 7 million kina to set up the Fly Foundation in 2014. The 3 are all out on 10,000 kina bail each, awaiting their sentence. Apart from this conviction, fraud officers are investigating allegations of misappropriations into the Simbu and Eastern Highlands provincial governments. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The new Medang Sea Patrol Unit has wasted no time hitting the high seas. Known as the Medang Water Rats, the police aim to prevent criminals who escape by boat after committing a crime. Meanwhile, a suspect to a planned major robbery was apprehended this morning, and the Medang police, especially the water police, are now on high alert. Rachel Shise with this report.
Also known as the Medang Water Rats, the new water police unit has already kicked off operations as of Wednesday this week, a day right after the Medang Chamber of Commerce presented a new boat and engine to the Medang police. This is to curb criminal activities that's been taking place on the sea, like sea piracy and the robberies, especially given 2 failed attempted robberies 2 weeks ago and a string of major robberies last year.
They have that easy getaway, and we are sometimes late and we cannot catch up with them.
Just this morning, a suspect to the rumors of a major robbery was apprehended by the Medang police and is now undergoing interrogation. With this 6-man Sea Patrol unit headed by Sergeant Iwok Anunga, the Medang police are on high alert. The new police boat has revived Medang's police presence on the water, but as the Provincial Police Commander, Superintendent Singura, pointed out, the Medang police still needs a boost in most of its area of operations to improve policing in the province.
We are lacking in many areas of policing. So without the support of everyone in the community, we won't achieve as much as we would want to achieve.
Rachel Shise, National EMTV News, Madang.
To one of our top stories now, and Enga police managed to save a woman who was accused of practicing sorcery in her Kayap village in Wabeg district. She was tortured and mutilated by the time police arrived. Police took the woman to the nearest hospital and had her hand amputated from the lower wrist down. A warning to viewers that some of the images in this next story may be distressing.
Enga Provincial Police Commander George Kaka said the woman from Kaya village, Wabek district in Enga province was saved from certain death by Enga police. He says the victim, who is in her mid-40s, was accused of performing sorcery on another woman who died whilst giving birth a month ago.
The woman was apparently being tortured by relatives and tribesmen from the same village and being kept in a house. A husband and two children, two kids, young men aged between 17 and 20, were chased out of the house, and they stood outside of the house helplessly whilst she was tortured in a house.
Commander Kaka said after getting an anonymous telephone tip-off, he organized a team of 30 police personnel and went to Kiap village and raided the house where the woman was kept within minutes of the call and rescued her.
We brought her into hospital in the nick of time. She had blood transfusion because she had lost a lot of blood since 3 a.m. this morning when she went through the ordeal. They gave her blood and moved her into the operating theatre where left hand was amputated from the wrist down.
Commander Kakas appealed to the people of Enga not to accuse and torture any accused sorcerers because sorcery was never a part of Enga culture.
This sort of barbaric, evil things must stop. Sanguma is a borrowed culture. It's not practiced in Enga. It's never been practiced in Enga. It's not part of Engan culture and tradition.
He also appealed to the government departments and organizations in Enga to help in reducing the number of accused sorcerers' killings.
Non-governmental organizations, any body who's willing to assist to curb this very evil thing must please assist my command here.
Adelaide Xerox Kari, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, and a series of bombings struck Thailand at a variety of locations, including sites popular with tourists on Thursday night and this morning in what a senior Thai official called a coordinated wave of attacks. The extent of the casualties was not immediately clear, but at least 4 people have been killed.
The blast in the city of Danyang in the central province of Hubei took place around 3:20 p.m. when a high-pressure steam pipe exploded, the official Xinhua news agency said. The injured have been rushed to hospital, it said, adding that authorities had launched a rescue effort, although the cause of the blast had not immediately been pinpointed. Deadly accidents are relatively common at industrial plants in China, and anger over lax standards is growing after 3 decades of swift economic growth, marred by incidents from mining disasters to factory fires. China has vowed to improve safety at such facilities. Vanessa Knight, EMTV World News.
You're with National EMTV News. Trukai Sports is next, and the Flying Fijians will win gold at the Olympics. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The past 3 weeks of the Export Rugby Championship has been a dream come true for 21-year-old Jedediah Katal. From standing by the field in the early days of high school, watching past and present Boromers, Willie Rickes, Wesley Thomas and George Hockey, to playing alongside them during the championship, has been one of the best achievements for Katal.
My name is Jedediah Katal. I'm 21 years old. My preferred position is inside center and outside. Well, inside, but for the Boromers, I've been playing outside.
Jediah Katal is not necessarily a new kid on the block, having previously featured for the Junior Bombers and the Under-20 PNG Pukpuks. But stepping up to play at a senior provincial representative level is an achievement he envisioned and was only a matter of time.
In 2010 itself, I played in Junior Bombers, but due to the age, I was only 16, I think. So I didn't make the cut for the Under-20, that was back then. But up until now, I've gradually played in from Under-20 up to A grade to Premier. And now I guess I've actually proven myself enough for the selectors to put me in the Burma side.
With the influence over the years from his father, a former Ipswich Grammar First 15 player, and now playing alongside who he considers are PNG rugby greats, becoming a senior Pukpuk again seems like something well and truly in the making.
I'd want to see myself represent the country that I come from in the future. Obviously, back in 2012, I represented PNG in the Under-20 when we went to Samoa. But yeah, at this, the senior level, yeah, I would really want to and love to.
But while becoming a Pukpuk is the ultimate goal, Katal's focus for now remains on this weekend's challenge against the Morobe Hammerheads in the grand final of the 2016 Export Rugby Championship.
The grand final, I guess, just stick to basics and just, do what the coach says. And, if things don't work out, you just have to improvise from there and then carry on from there.
Lorraine Genia, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports for tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the weather details for the next 24 hours after these messages.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Here's a look at the weather for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Fine and cool in Port Moresby, Daru, Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, brief showers in Lae with a top temperature of 30 degrees. Rain in Wa with a top of 30 as well. Cloudy periods in Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy periods in Lorengau, Kimbe and Buka. Fine in Kavieng, mostly fine in Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, fine weather with morning fog expected. To a look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours, and there is a strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru, including Milne Bay and its islands, Cape Vogel to Finschhafen through Vitia Strait, CSE Islands, also Manus to New Ireland to New Britain and Bougainville. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, Yule Island, Hood Point, Samarai Island, and with waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen, and through Vitia Strait, CSE Islands to Long Island with waters of Manus and its western group of islands and New Britain, seas 2.5 to 3 meters. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters west of Long Island to Madang, Bogia, Wewak, Panimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And waters of New Ireland to East New Britain and Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. And look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea, seas rather rough with southeasterly winds at 20 to 25 knots. Solomon Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeasterly winds at 20 to 34 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeasterly winds at 20 to 34 knots. And Pacific Ocean, seas slight with northeast to southeasterly winds at 10 to 20 knots. Well, that has been the news, sports and weather for today, Friday the 12th of August 2016. On behalf of the news team, have a pleasant weekend. Good night.